So here we are, whatever, 9-10 weeks later, about to go on our walk.
Hello and welcome to Azohia. It's a beautiful bay, nice and sheltered in here, still a bit of a breeze blowing through the hills, but it's a nice place to be.
And at least we can be out now, we can move around the province in phase 2. Phase 1, where we've been over the last couple of weeks, has meant we've spent most of the time back in the Mar Menor, bizarrely. We did get that walk and the place is coming back to life. I hope you like the film. Coming up, the Mar Menor is buzzing again. Restaurants are open. We head west temporarily as restrictions on sailing are relaxed. And we meet the excellent Sailmaker who fixed our stay sail. It all began as just another day. But then the sun came up, the fishermen laid their nets and people gradually emerged onto the water. It was time to find out what everyone here had been missing. For us, it was a chance to dress up for Sunday lunch. A short dinghy ride to the yacht club, where it seems most of the town on the east side of the Mar Menor is gathering to celebrate. We caught up with some friends and ate paella. Life is getting back to normal. This is 2.5 months from the beginning of lockdown, where you may remember we were kindly advised not to go ashore.
Yeah.
Now we are back for some much needed exercise. So here we are, whatever, 9-10 weeks later, about to go on our walk. We expected to be pretty much alone here, and we were. This is a nature reserve on the salt flats, home to all sorts of wildlife and beautiful birds, including these wild flamingos. One of the reasons we came to the Mar Menor is because we wanted to see these flamingos, but you never know when they're going to be here, so it's pot luck, but we're so lucky. It's amazing, they're beautiful.
They're not pink though.
They're not pink because they don't eat shrimps. They're white. White with some spectacular colouring on their wings. Goodness knows what she's been eating. Altogether, they are glorious and majestic. The reserve extends across to the Mediterranean coastline, so our walk took us along the beach, which I expected to be full of people, but it was empty. By now we had rather lost track of time and the walk back took several hours, but there was plenty to see. The well-preserved windmills used to move water around the salt flats. It's now pumped, but the industry remains the same. A lovely part of the world for what turned out to be quite a workout.
It's 20-foot square. It's actually longer walk than we thought. How many steps was it on your Fitbit?
41,000.
41,000.
I know, but that's fine because I haven't walked for like 10 weeks, so a week's worth all in one go is fine.
Your Fitbit's not going to know what's happened. I thought you died.
I think it did, yeah. Yeah. We'd been warned the Mar Menor was full of jellyfish, and so it turned out. But with the bottom of the boat looking like this, something had to be done. We'd managed to get a scraper we hoped would do the trick. Steve took the plunge and said it was like shaving a rather thick beard. While being watched. Freaky. The other rather urgent job was fixing the anti-siphon system. You may remember from last time we had a small problem.
We are sinking very slowly.
What?
So what's just a matter of cleaning the salt crust off the valve. These Vitas siphon brakes here just have a little valve at the top that lets the air in but doesn't let water out. So that's all they're there for. It's just to provide that siphon brake so you don't get water either coming into the boat, or in the case of the one for the engine, filling up the engine with water through the exhaust valves, which can ruin your engine. So you've got to make sure, you know, all these things are going to give you a very bad day if they go wrong. So it's worth checking them. These haven't been checked for a few years now, so you know I'm going around them all. This one here is a different type. I'll show you this one. This one's a duck-billed one. It's the one that was making the noise. If you have a look at that, you can see why. Almost looks like the sort of reed you'd get on a wood instrument. But yeah, that's a similar thing. It needs to be clean, and it needs to not be out of shape. If you look at it when you press it like that, you know, it should come back straight and not be deformed. So what that means with this one is that when it's letting the air back into the top of the loop as the water level goes down, it'll make a bit of a noise. Turn it off, you'll get that horrible noise. So yeah, I think it's quite a useful thing to have.
We are now ready for the next stage in the lifting of lockdown.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun.
In phase 1, we could only travel within 12 nautical miles, which meant it was safer inside the Mar Menor. After a couple of days outside, we found the coastline rather exposed and unprotected for anchoring. Phase 2 extends the cruising area to the region of Murcia. By heading west, we could find several excellent bays, good for anchoring and going ashore. Already we knew that boats that had spent lockdown in Cartagena were heading out. By going onto the No Foreign Land website, we could see people we knew who had travelled around to anchor in La Azohia. Within a few days, we could join them.
So it's a lovely morning. We're actually going to go around to Cartagena first of all, do a bit of reprovisioning, and you can see, looking at predict wind, we should have a good 15-20 knots of wind right behind us, so perfect sailing conditions. Might be a little bit lumpy out there, we don't really know, but we're going to get ready down here. Judy's
closing the hatches. We have learnt from experience that if you don't do that, you get water in. Who wants that? So yeah. And the computers, you can put your computer away?
Yeah, I'll pack mine away. You're just going to leave yours out and use these things. I mean, they're very good.
These are excellent non-slip stuff. Yeah, it means I can work if I want to.
Yeah.
It'd be, what, 6-hour trip, something like that?
Yeah, it should be that, and it shouldn't be too bad, but you never know, and we'd be happy. So we've caught out before. I think we should stick the dinghy on deck there. Should we do that now?
Okay, sure.
You and I can weather any storm.
So the anchor's probably pretty buried in there. You can see it's tight and straight down, so I'm not going to force it. We'll just stay there over the top of it, maybe overrun it a little bit to work the anchor out rather than strain the windlass doing it. This is actually easier when there's a bit of a swell. If you're out in the open sea, the swell will just pull it out for you, but we just wait, it'll work its way out without forcing it. Right over the top, and I think that might have got it now. A bit of patience and you don't have to force it.
Then the journey past Tia Marina and under the bridge for the second time. There's quite a current here. You can see it going round the buoy there. It means that Steve's having to go backwards quite a lot. Anyway, we've got 3 minutes to go. And we're not alone here either. There's another boat ahead of us. So yeah, quite a historic day. 25th of May 2020, and bizarrely we're going back to Cartagena. Who'd have thought? Oh dear.
Here we go, look out. Yeah, we gotta take it slow, baby.
There we go, sign, the bell to say we can go under. Go. Meanwhile, the boat in front had been spun completely around. Bridge is going up. The boat's almost going sideways through it. Really getting caught up in this tide. Well, that was a bit freaky.
Yes, I wasn't expecting that. There's probably 2 or 3 knots of current there. I'm glad I wasn't the only one caught out. The local there was doing circles as well, wasn't he? It's just incredible.
I thought it was going to go backwards actually at one point. I thought this was a new Spanish custom.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go through the big fragments. Yeah, I almost did as well.
Well, it's a good thing the whole channel's deep then, because we got really quite close to the rocks.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, it's a properly dug, sort of deep-sided channel in the middle. This bit here on the corner, it's really silts up, so you have to be really careful here. But yeah, I didn't think there'd be enough room to turn around in there. It's a good job there was.
This is probably a good time to reflect on our sails, or rather our staysail, which we had mended over the winter.
So if you saw at the end of season 1, we did have a problem with our staysail. We ripped the clue out of it. It's been here at Sail, so I'm going to go and see Joachim and see if he's got it done.
Joachim was recommended to us by boat owners at Cartagena. He's one of several excellent craftsmen at Beluma Sails, and our staysail is ready. We'd broken the clue coming back from Ibiza in a gale. At the same time, the Yankee jammed, and Steve had to bring it in by hand. So all in all, we were in pretty bad shape. Luckily, it was the end of the season, so there was time to make the repairs.
Yeah, lovely.
And change the tapes for the ring.
Yeah.
And
So there's an extra tape as well, wasn't there? Because there were 3 before. That's what I asked. So you've got 4 for that.
Yes, it's very strong.
Yeah.
You never break it.
Yeah. What's the sort of life of the sail normally?
With Dagro, with this
Yeah.
with this material, it's probably you can use for 15 years.
Yeah.
But depend on the use. If
Yeah.
you sail a lot of and with hard winds,
Yeah.
you need to change the sail before. but and it depends on the quality of the fabric.
Yeah.
Because now a lot of companies sell bad material, bad fabric, so the sale don't.
Okay. Well, there's
It's
different
necessary to
qualities
bu-
of Dacron. Still
Yes.
Dacron, but
There are a lot of kinds of Dacron.
Okay.
So it's important to buy a good quality, like Dimension Polian or Contender or a brand with a lot of years in the market.
yeah.
Because if you
Yeah.
if you buy a Chinese sail, you don't know what is the material, and it's probably in 6 years
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
out.
So, looking at this sail, what would you be looking for to know when either it needs repair or it needs replacing?
For this size,
For a sail like this, yes.
I think we have sailed for a lot of years more.
Yeah.
Because the fabric looks very well.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah.
here is the area, the leech is normally
Yeah.
the area that break before than the rest of the sail.
Yeah.
But don't look back. So
Okay.
you have
And stretching the sail, if you can't get it to trim well, is it possible to recut sails? Would that be something that you would recommend, to recut a sail to be better rather than have a new one?
if you cut the sail, you solve a little the problem, but only in the area that you cut. The rest of the sail is
Still, yeah.
it's
Not the
still
wrong shape.
the shape.
Yeah, so it's better
but
to get new
if you cut in the loft and in the leech, you can use the sail for 2 years, 4 years more with
Yeah.
a better shape.
For more information about sails, we have a separate video where Chris talks about the high-tech material he's using, which is light and incredibly strong.
Aramid, in black aramid, and Dyneema.
Yeah.
So
Back on Fair Isle, our sails are fixed, and with the wind behind and swell on the back quarter, we have a rolly ride towards Cartagena. It does feel a little bit strange coming back. We haven't been here for 10 weeks, and we're supposed to be somewhere completely different. But it's nice. I mean, it's lovely. We know people here, so we're looking forward to chatting to them. Looking forward to getting all my washing done, and maybe having a meal out in Cartagena. Who knows?
One of the jobs I did want to do was swap over our anchor chains. Previously we had 70 metres of rode and 30 metres of chain as a secondary anchor. Well, I'm going to use my old anchor chain for that and have that as 70 metres of all chain. I'll give it a bit of a wash in fresh water first. It's always good to get some fresh water on stainless whenever you can. Then it was preparing everything for the lovely new Chromox chain. It's important to get everything right in the anchor locker, and there were some major mistakes with the old installation, like shackling the end of the chain into the locker, something that's a really bad idea. We'll be covering all that in an upcoming tech corner on anchoring though, and to be honest it's not completely finished yet. During our short time in Cartagena we had lots to do and people to see.
One of those people is Marky Warren. He changed his life completely, moving from the city in London to living and working on board.
There's a lot of people that want this sort of lifestyle and and need to work as they go. I mean, we work as we go, but we're working from boat on different things. I mean, you're working on boats, doing boat type things. Is that doable? Does it work for you?
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing it for almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
During winter, I'll polish boats. Right now I'm working on. Funny enough, Andy's boat, who you got the gas from.
Yes.
And I'm sanding down all his woodwork and then revarnishing it and everything like that. So it keeps you going. I mean, it's amazing on how basically you can live if you really want to.
Sure.
So. And your background to come to work on boats?
Well,
did you make it up?
No, it's I worked in investment banking for 14 years, working on trade floors. Suited up all day, sitting behind a desk, and had a few things happen in life, and just felt there must be more to life. And then things happened where there's a whole story to me getting my first boat, I suppose really the universe just puts things in place for you to grab onto and run with. So and that's with the boat coming in. I found this and thought, this is what I want to do.
Any regrets?
Not at all.
No.
I mean, even in the most challenging times, I'll say to myself, it could be worse. You could be sitting behind a desk, all day.
Marky also used his blogging skills during lockdown to arrange a daily VHF update on coronavirus for everyone on the marina.
How many people were here lockdown? Any idea?
I don't actually know.
Quite a few.
Yeah, I'd say about 100 at least. So
it's a lot of people.
It was a lockdown. You couldn't leave the marina, could you?
Not at all. Yeah, I mean we were pretty much bound to our boats. We couldn't really walk around unless we were going straight to the showers or something like that. And then I spoke to the office and they spoke to the Guardia, and the Guardia then decided they appreciate that the space on boats is a lot smaller than in an apartment or something like that. So they said we can, walk around the pontoons and stuff, just briefly.
So you became sort of de facto leader here. What sort of things were happening? What things you have to deal with?
I suppose it's interesting to see how people react, in a community when there is a crisis like this. There's some surprising things that happen. Some people don't handle the stress very well. People that you may have thought would handle the stress well don't handle the stress well, and the ones that you thought wouldn't handle it actually handle it a lot better. And it's been quite an interesting thing just to see how that goes. As you know, we had a case here in the marina, and that did spark a lot of stress in some people because some people are high risk.
Yeah, and you're sharing facilities. I mean,
exactly.
Showers and things like that. So it's difficult.
Yeah.
And we should say that the man who was taken to hospital is okay.
Yeah, he's perfectly fine. I actually saw him a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. He's put on a bit of weight again, and he's looking good. Yeah.
But he got it, and his wife, who was on board with him, didn't. Is that right?
No. Yeah. Which is quite amazing because they tested him. He was confirmed, and then they tested her, and she had actually. I mean, she'd been living with him for. I think it was 11 days on the boat, sharing a bed, obviously. Yeah. And so they tested her, negative. Yeah, quite amazing.
It was a very quick catch-up, not least because while we were away, the marina berthing costs had rocketed. €100 a night was too much to stay any longer. And anyway, we are headed for a lovely bay with beautiful clear water. And here we are in our beautiful bay. If you look behind me, you can see there's a small town and a promenade which goes all the way round, so we can walk it or maybe even take the bikes.
Yes, there's a few other escapees from Cartagena in here that we know, so we might go for a drink with them. There's some of the bars are open here, so that's quite nice. And then we're going to, as soon as we can, get across to the Balearics, aren't we? Yeah, 9th of June is when things open up into phase 3, where we can travel a bit further afield within Spain as a whole. So yes, we'll head over there. I'm slightly concerned about the prices, though.
Yeah, the experience we just had with Cartagena, tripling their
prices when we went back there is a bit worrying. It can get very expensive in the Balearics, we know that. We were thinking hopefully this season there's not going to be a lot of yachts around. We were hoping they might drop their prices, but that remains to be seen.
It does. Spain is pretty bullish about having a summer season, which means basically July and August. Greece has opened up, Italy's opened up, so yes, they want to have one, but it rather depends on who can come and how many, I guess.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely be there. We will be somewhere.
We'll keep you informed. Anyway, thanks for watching.
And do remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you.